Welcome to Sales Velocity TV, where we pull back the curtain on how the top businesses in the world sell more with less resistance. Bringing over 50 plus years of combined sales experience and over 100 million in revenue generated, please welcome the hosts of Sales Velocity TV and two incredibly entertaining gentlemen, Andrew Cass and Aaron Parkinson.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Revenue Multiplier episode here, Aaron. This will be a fun one because this is a often missed jewel, I might add, a jewel and a gem, gold beneath your feet. Very few businesses have it today. I think it's happening more and more today, this Revenue Multiplier effect. I know you know what it is. I want to give our listeners a chance to maybe think for a moment, what do they mean by the one, and it is the one, Revenue Multiplier in the business that can have the most profound effect? What could it be? Could it be, Aaron, let's throw some ideas out there. Could it be...
Well, it's actually you.
Could it be your sales funnel? Could it be your social media strategy? Could it be your product and service? What's the revenue multiplier
Could it be upsells? Could it be downsells? Could it be adding email marketing? There's so many things that you could guess on here.
But there's really one X factor, and I'm going to let this hang out here and marinate for a little bit. Could it be your team? Could it be your...
Could it be outsourcing everybody offshore?
Could it be the way you handle your team? Could it be the way you collect money? Hint, hint, hint. Could it be...
Could it be incentivizing everybody to hit goals? That could be a revenue multiplier.
Could be a revenue multiplier. Listen, there's a lot of ways we could go right here. There's actually one, and we're going to unpack it here over the next 30 to 45 minutes today, and it is continuity, subscription. If you don't have continuity or subscription in your business model in some way, shape, or form, it is going to be really difficult to scale today, and you end up in a transaction-based business where every day you wake up, you have to kill what you eat. You have to basically hunt every day, and there's not a lot of stability, and it's a little bit stressful. When you add the continuity and the subscription component, and we'll talk about what this looks like here today, you become infinitely more stable and you become infinitely more valuable, by the way. If you wanted to raise money, bring in a partner, raise capital, sell the company, if you have a continuity staple in the business, boy, oh boy, it's a whole different ballgame and it's a whole different multiple. So we're going to talk about the revenue multiplier today, which is continuity, subscriptions within the business. Some of you are like, I could never do that. My business isn't set up for any kind of subscription or continuity. We'll challenge that today. Most likely wrong. I would think there's probably a 99% chance that it can be the case, right? But there's a 1% chance that maybe it won't be. So let's unpack that today, Aaron.
I love this topic, and I think you and I have a similar history. You spent some time on Wall Street, banging phones as a broker.
Pre-internet.
You know, you spent time in the mortgage industry. When I broke into online marketing, I was doing, high ticket sales over the phone. And it was amazing when I got started online. And my first gig was working for a personal development company doing high ticket sales over the phone, not even over Zoom back then. It was amazing to go from dead broke to a multiple six-figure income a year. And I thought, I've made it. And then the moment that train stopped, I had to start over. And not only do you have to start over, but because I was young and, not very wise yet, my lifestyle had increased proportionately to the income that I was accustomed to. So then when the train stopped, not only do you not have any money, you got bills and taxes and all these other things staring you in the face, and you have to either liquidate it all or find another gig. And that's a situation that creates pressure, and pressure doesn't allow you to make very intelligent decisions. And I think that's really the key to today, is the freedom to make intelligent decisions. And you called this morning the the ultimate sales multiplier. I actually call it the ultimate sanity multiplier. And as I was going through my business journey over the last 20 years, I eventually got to a point, I don't know, 5 years ago, where I wrote down the new rules for myself for wherever I was going to invest my time and my energy and my resources. And one of the rules might have been rule number 1 was I will never do anything again that does not have continuity attached to it. Because I'm not starting over and I'm not playing this game anymore. And that one decision, combined with many other, has given me more peace, more freedom, and a greater ability to navigate what to do next with the business, because I'm not waking up on day 1 of the month going, okay, here's our new sales goal. We got to go kill it. I'm starting at zero. Got to ramp myself up again. I'm starting every month going, well, there's X amount of money coming in no matter what. So what do I want to attack? What do I want to prioritize versus every minute of every day just being about, I got to go get another customer. I got to go make another sale. Mm-hmm. That's why I call it the sanity multiplier. And so what I think we should talk about are some of the different types of continuity that there are in the business world.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, that stress you mentioned, what was the word you used? The sanity and stress component?
Yes.
It also saps creativity.
Absolutely.
So when you have that stress and that angst, and you're having a big week and then you don't know how next week will be because you don't have that safety net of continuity or that backdrop of continuity, you can't really think as well. This gives you, this liberates you to do more, slow it down a little bit, think better, be more creative, create more products and services, create more offers. And the answer is both. It isn't just continuity, and it certainly isn't just selling and transactions. It's actually both. If you have a business that has the stability of both, a continuity component and maybe a one-off sale or a one-off project component as well, that's really the answer. It's the best of both worlds. But continuity creates the backdrop and the foundation for stability, to your point, for sanity,
Agreed.
To your point.
For sanity.
So, and here's the thing, Aaron. It's never been easier than it is today to do it with all of the technology we now have to facilitate it, which you and I didn't have when we started online, number 1. And number 2, all the creative merchant account and merchant service options that allow it to happen at scale as well. These things were hard to come by when we got into the online world, probably in 2005, 2006. Like, think from the 2005 to 2010 era, we didn't see much of it. There was no Netflix back then. Amazon Prime, I don't think was around back then. Amazon Prime, Costco, Amazon Prime, Netflix, these are the big 800-pound gorillas in the room that perfected continuity, and this is why now they're the darlings of Wall Street and they're so cash rich, is because of their recurring income model. But we didn't have access to it. And now, today, 2023, maybe since 2015-ish, 12-ish, let's call it for the last 10 years, there have been more and better options from a technological and a merchant processing standpoint that allow this to happen like that. That's the good news. The bad news is it's rather difficult to get the tech to work and talk to each other and build the offers. It all stems back to now, how do you sell it? How do you market it? How do you create that customer experience so that there's no friction and it's a smooth process to get into it? It's not easy to sell continuity, but continuity creates a bigger, better, longer tail customer. So there's good and bad that we'll talk about, and we'll talk about both, obviously.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the different types of continuity. And there's not a ton, but there are some key differentiators, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the ones that you mentioned before we got on this call was membership sites, right? If we look at a membership site, Netflix is the greatest example of it. I've had a Netflix membership for, God, it's got to be 10 years. You know, what I don't even know what they charge me. Was it $20 a month?
It's not even. I think it's like 10 or $7.99 or $12.99 or
something inconsequential.
It's not a lot,
right? Something inconsequential. the value that I get from Netflix, for the $20 a month or whatever it is, I'm never going to quit. The company would literally have to go bankrupt for me to quit my subscription. So the value that they're giving, which is that I can sit down at the end of the day and pop on some documentary or some series, and I don't have to watch commercials, and I don't have to start it at a certain time. I can just plug in, watch it, kill some time, whatever. Value off the charts, cost zero.
Inconsequential.
How
much Netflix do you watch, by the way? Are you a big Netflix guy?
I'd say, at the end of the day, my wife and I sit down and we usually watch maybe an hour a night.
You do? Yeah. So you're a 5 to 10 hour a weeker?
Yeah. Ish. Yeah, about that. And what I really like is the documentary style shows they put together. Like, I don't know if you've watched Drive to Survive by any chance, but Drive to Survive basically followed the F1, the Formula One racing season.
I've seen the advertisements.
And I was never a fan of F1, didn't care about it. I'm like, cars, racing, not interested. And then I watched this documentary and I learned about all the different teams and the countries they're associated with and all the key players and all the backstabbing that happens between teams and the different drivers and, all of their histories. And all of a sudden I'm a massive F1 fan. It was the single biggest impactful marketing strategy that F1 has ever done. F1 has grown by like 300% in the last 3 years since the Netflix Drive to Survive series. And now you see the PGA is trying to do it. Tennis is trying to do it.
They did it. I'm watching one now, a PGA. I'm watching the documentary. I forget the name of
Full Swing.
Full Swing, exactly. Yeah. Are you watching that one?
Yeah, I've already watched it.
It's pretty good.
I like these documentary style shows.
Agreed.
And I can just plug in, and if I want to watch for 15 minutes, I watch for 15 minutes. If I want to watch for an hour, I watch it for an hour. It's the access and it's accessibility, right? So that would be an example of a membership site.
By the way, let's slow it down a tad. So a membership site with regular new rolling content. So the challenge with that is Netflix has to continue to do deals and produce. Right?
Exactly.
You can't just put a piece of content up and that's the end of it and they live there. They have to constantly acquire the rights to this, create that, hire, and it's becoming a huge platform. So how does that translate to the small to medium-sized business owner or the sales professional watching this show? Is you've got to be willing to produce content rather prolifically, consistently, ongoing. We'll talk about what that might look like in a couple different niche examples here.
Right, and I think that's probably the hardest one to execute, but it's also the reason why those types of businesses typically have 10 to 30x multiples when they sell. Exactly. And so very, very high valuations when you go to sell those in open marketplace.
Sure.
Another example, and we kind of debated this and maybe we agree, we disagree on it, is my agency only takes on clients on a monthly retainer-based model. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, can you design me a site one-off, or hey, can you do this, or hey, can you do that? My answer is no. I have no interest in it. I'm not doing it. If they want me to build something and then handle their media every month after that, no problem at all. And when I look at the valuations of agencies in the marketplace right now, the ones that are service-based, one-off service-based versus the ones that are retainer-based, 3x multiple on the retainer-based ones versus the one
just a transaction. I mean,
it's just a transaction.
It's back to build me a website, one and done. It's back to build me a funnel, one and done, versus the ongoing service and the ongoing delivery of something. There it is.
If somebody wants to come in and buy it, they look at it and go, okay, well, where are the customers come? Can we count on that predictability in the future? Can we scale that, so on and so forth? Versus I'm going to come in and buy something, and I know on month one, X amount of money is going to come in, and I can see that historical trend from the last 2 years. There's no comparison.
No comparison. And you know what it also does, Aaron? It allows you to spend more on a customer when you're advertising, because you're not buying a one-off customer. If you know that your product is a 5K product, one and done, and you're out there advertising, doing radio, TV, internet, you know that you got to really toe the line sort of close, because your maximum opportunity is about 5K.
Right.
But if you were a 1K per month retainer and you had at least a 12 to 24 month retention, now you have a 24K potential client. And now you can start thinking about how you deploy media spend a whole lot differently, because now you know that it's every month the customer value increases. Every month your return on ad spend increases. Every time the credit card gets hit, your return on ad spend continues to compound.
Or maybe it's that 5K product, but you only sell that 5K product if they get on your other service after you're done, and it's $1,000 a month.
Right.
You know, like we have a concierge program that does that, right?
Sure.
So you have to figure out, what is it that I can offer the client that they're going to perceive as incredibly valuable, that they'd be willing to try it out for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And if you blow them away, they're willing to stay forever.
Right.
And for me, I wake up on the first of the month with the way that the agency is structured, for example, and I go, I know I'm making this amount of money this month, and that puts me in a tremendously creative space, and it makes me very happy and it makes me very free, versus waking up on the first of the month and going, okay, I got to go out and sell again.
How are we going to get the customer this month?
Exactly. How are we going to get them? And I never want to be in that. I want to be predictable. I want to be consistent.
You mentioned in the beginning how my sales journey got started in the brokerage industry in New York, which is probably one of the fastest paced selling environments in the world. And this is pre-internet, so it was all telephone and direct mail. And we always were hustling to have the big month and the rewards and incentives and whatnot. But then as soon as the month turned, I remember being so down.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do that again?
And I think
although I would, the fact that you literally were at zero and you're like, I want to maintain this level, but it was constant production. Miss a day of work, miss production. Miss a week, miss production. Nothing to fall back on. Client could leave anytime, pull his money out under management. That's how most business owners live, and it's a tough way to live. You're basically compounding stress until you find a way to have a continuity subscription piece that gets bolted onto the business.
Well, and let me ask you a question. Is the way that compensation plan was structured for you a key reason why you eventually left the industry?
Meaning because it was just transaction-based?
Yes.
I think that was a piece of it. For me, the biggest piece was the conflicts of interest that exist even more so today than they did 20 years ago. And the other piece of it was, yes, it was the constant, I mean, the big highs, the big lows, the constant up and down. But I think it was more the conflicts of interest in the way I just don't love the way, big Wall Street operates, or big government or big tech operates today, as an example. That was a bigger factor for me. I'm a pretty resilient guy. I could handle being in the high velocity sales environment. But that was a piece of it for sure.
You're an incredibly resilient guy. You're not a pretty resilient guy. You have very thick skin and you're very highly motivated. So you're not a normal person to sit in that chair, and yet you still said it was part of the reason why you walked away. So an incredibly resilient person with the opportunity to make as much money as they wanted, that was still a key reason why you left. And the reason why I asked you is because I have a lot of clients that will come to me and they don't have that recurring revenue model integrated. And I will encourage them and almost demand that they put it in place. And a lot of them will push me off on it and not take me up on what I'm trying to explain to them. Mm-hmm. And then as they grow and they get bigger, more team, more ad spend, more clients, more fulfillment, a lot of them get to the point where they go, I just don't want to do this anymore.
It gets draining.
Because they can't see the end.
It's draining.
They can't see the moment where they could potentially step back and just chill for a month or 2 months or whatever they want to do. They're always in that chase mode.
Yeah.
And so eventually, if you don't have this in you and you're intimately involved in the business, and I get, if you look at something like McDonald's, right? I don't think they have a continuity model anywhere that I'm aware of. And you say, well, businesses like McDonald's can do it. Well, that's a franchise, person and a conglomerate, and that distribution of responsibilities over tens of thousands of franchisees, right? I'm talking about if you're actively in your business, whatever that might be, restaurant, car wash,
Sure.
insurance salesman. But that's a good point. Insurance salesman. Why is insurance sales?
Aaron, that's the mecca of continuity.
Right? Why is insurance?
Most people don't realize it. They don't know what goes on behind the scenes. That's a beast of a continuity business.
So if you look at that, that's a great example.
It is.
Why do people flock to something that's so boring?
Why are there so many insurance sales?
Why are there so many insurance agents? It's because they know once they build their book, that recurring revenue is coming in until the end of time.
See, if I was smart back then, Aaron, when I was 23, 25,
you would have been insurance instead of
I would have pivoted from retail brokerage, one and done sales, transaction based, into the other side of the industry, which is insurance, whether it be life. Life is the best. And now today with some of the different life, annuity, life type stuff, permanent insurance type stuff, it's a super good product for the consumer, and it's very profitable for the insurance agent selling it up front. They get paid by the company. It doesn't come out of the client's pocket. And they get a piece of the recurring premiums every month or every year. So it's a continuity beast, and it's also a transaction-based beast. See, again, the best of both worlds is the answer. It isn't one or the other. By no means are we saying here, you know what, kill everything you're doing. You're making a few $100,000 a year. Kill everything you're doing and go have a $20 a month continuity. No. Keep doing what you're doing, but bolt on the continuity subscription model and add more stability and more value to the business. And then what will happen is over time, that hopefully ideally starts to balance out. Like right now, if we look, Aaron, at Pipeline Pro, our software platform that powers the show, we bring it up periodically here and there. We talk about your private agency here and there. When I look at the numbers at the end of the month, I always look at the monthly revenue. 50%, give or take, could be 55, could be 60, is continuity. And another 50, 55, 60%, it's always within about a 5 to 10% swing, is service-based, one-off sales funnels, custom conversion system projects, website builds, things that people need now that are one and done.
Yep.
Right down the middle. Almost every month, it's right around that 50. That's stability. So it isn't one or the other, it's both.
And we added that in actually second in that business model because we had a software.
We added it in
subscription based. We added it second to create more cash flow. But then you actually introduced a new product behind it, which is the concierge service, where you can have somebody one-on-one and VIP access to you after you do a one-off build. And a ton of our clients have taken it because they want that direct connection. They don't want to figure things out themselves. So
it's
again,
like insurance at the end of the day for them.
You put another continuity model in, even to a one-off service.
I've actually bolted two on to this example, right? Not to pat myself on the back here, but you're right. We put Concierge in, which is a look over your shoulder program for anybody using our platform who a lot of people just want one-on-one. They're willing to pay a premium for one-on-one. I need help. I get to hop on a Zoom with someone twice a month, and they can be in my account, do my thing, be in my account. I can do my thing, and I just have a person. A lot of savvy business owners would prefer that because it gives them their time back. Right. But then the second thing I added recently was our certified partner program, which is also a continuity program in which we certify folks on our platform technologically. And then there's a monthly fee that they pay us because we continue to provide the marketing assets, the training, and the technology to help them run that business as a consultant of our platform. So there's so much that can be done. I continue to find ways to do it. And I think if you really want to next level your business, scale, buy back some time, create more value, you're going to have to find a way to continue to do this. But if you've never done it and you've never bolted on at least the one continuity piece, I mean, we have at least 6 or 7 continuity components of our business, right? You have a big retainer business in your agency. It's a little bit different. It's a retainer-based, service-based agency, but high ticket. Just find the one first. Don't worry about the 3 or 4 ideas. Like, just perfect the one. Very few do that well, Aaron. They get so... I don't know, they get ahead of themselves and they want to do 6 things at first instead of one. I find myself at least 2 or 3 times a week saying, just get one thing done and done right, and then you can clone it and you can multiply it once you've proven concept.
Well, and I'll take the other side of that story, which is that the other side of that story is you get a lot of business owners that go, can't be done in my industry.
Right off the bat.
Can't be done. Oh, is that right? And a quick Google search of your industry will probably show you 3 different ways. Mm-hmm. Continuity models for XYZ type of business. And you'll be like, oh, damn, it's in there. So I like to open people's minds from a couple examples that I've seen, right? And one of the examples that I saw last year when I was driving through the US was a car wash. Car washes are some of the oldest businesses on earth, and they're actually hugely profitable. Drive-through car washes. I use them all the time. Got a big truck, gets dirty. And
is that your redneck truck?
What's that?
Is that your redneck truck?
It is my big redneck truck. You've seen my new big redneck truck.
Yeah, it's all hopped up.
It's all hopped up, big wheels and big lifts and all that stuff. It looks like the apocalypse is coming, and I'm going to be the only guy living after it. And
machine gun across the back hanging.
Oh, my son wants one. He wants one mounted.
I was kidding. There's no way that's happening in the Cayman Islands.
Not here. Maybe in the U.S.
In the U.S. for sure.
Anyway, driving through the U.S., car's gross. I don't want to wash it myself. I don't want to wait for somebody to show up to the hotel. Just want to go through car wash. I go through car wash, and the price is, let's call it $20 for the car wash.
Right.
And then it says, for $50 a month, come through as many times as you want. And I looked at it and I went, oh, that's genius. Absolutely genius. And I started to go down the rabbit hole and look into some of these car washes that were doing this. We're talking about thousands of people on these continuity programs. Who cares if they use it once, 10 times, 0? That's the other thing. Half the continuity people don't even use the thing.
And they know that. And the insurance companies know this too. I mean, they model this and they prepare for this.
And so what would you rather have? Would you rather have a car wash? We've got to constantly be pumping out marketing to make sure that there's cars coming through.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be the same car wash, pumping marketing, and knowing that 1 out of every 10 cars that comes through is going to get on your...
That's probably a good number too. It typically is about a 10 to 20% uptake.
And that obviously depends on how it's delivered, right? So you have to be good at how you deliver it. So if I owned one of those car washes and somebody came through and they went to pay for the car wash, I'd have a script, right? And the script would be read every single time. Hey, thank you so much for your business. Did you know that for only $49 a month, you can come through as many times as you like? Would you like to join our VIP car wash program?
Commercial every time, every person.
Yes, I would. Right? And boom, done. And now they're on auto bill on their credit card. And again, you're going to see some people are going to never show up. Some people are still going to show up just once, but now they're paying $50 instead of $29 or $19.95. Some people are going to have the rare people show up 15 times. Who cares? The business is still running with the same expenses. So there's no way I would ever own that business without that model in place.
Never. And it's not that hard to do.
Not at all.
Most get intimidated by the tech and the process, but it's well worth the time to put in place. Massage Envy is another good one.
Okay, so talk about Massage Envy.
I actually have a subscription now to, there isn't one near me, but I have a subscription now to a similar model here in Naples where I live. I think they're called Hand and Stone.
Okay.
But same concept. It's a monthly fee. It's one service a month. And then if I have to buy anything else, here's the key. If you want to buy anything else retail, because you're a member, you get a 20% discount. So if I wanted to go get a second service or a facial or whatever, in addition to the one service per month, I get it for 20% off. So that's an important kicker also, is it can't just be continuity unlimited. It has to be continuity. And then because you're a member, you have access to other things at a discount, which almost amplifies the continuity program. That's an important component of it. Yeah,
there's so many different ways to structure it to increase value. And I think that is a great way that they increase value. And I always try to find hard businesses that are hard. Like, tell me a business that couldn't do it. So I'll just grab one randomly. Let's say you have a restaurant, right? People say, wow.
I have a good one for a restaurant, but go ahead.
Okay. You can't, let's say the restaurant owner says you can't be on continuity. No restaurants have continuity. Baloney, right? You look at Amazon. What does Amazon offer you? They offer you Prime, biggest continuity program in the world. Costco might be second. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Amazon says,
and theirs is once a year, Aaron. It's $99 a year for Prime.
Yeah, it's wild. Do you know how many people are? You might want to Google this. Where's Jamie? Will Jamie Google this for?
That's Joe Rogan's guy.
I'm pretty sure that the United States now has 360 million people living it, right?
Yeah, it's in the few hundred million, so probably somewhere in there. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that I read last week
that 100 million of them are on Prime.
Yeah, it was between 50 and 100 million of them.
$99 a month. Do the math.
And
calculator explodes
at $99 a year, right? So $100 per year times 100 million, 100 times 100 million. Like that was
100 million times $100. There's your revenue.
What is that?
I don't even know if it would fit on the calculator.
It's insane.
Right. And that's just to get free shipping.
And that's just to get
There's
free
nothing
shipping.
special there.
I think
actually, you get free movies too. Amazon Prime. If you're Prime, you're in the Prime movie network, and there's a whole lot of free movies.
Yep.
And
so
freebies
they're
and
adding
things like that.
adding value to it because it's the core of their business, right? But if you look at a restaurant and you say, how could I emulate something like Amazon? What if you created your restaurant VIP club? When you come to our restaurant, if there's ever a lineup, you get to skip the front first off, right? So you get to skip the line. You get one free dessert every single month. If you order delivery, no delivery charges attached to your order. Every time you have a birthday, we will give you one of our house bottles of wine. I'm just throwing out like a bunch of different elements.
All good ideas, by the way. It's all on the table.
And if you join our VIP club, it's $20 a month, $19.95 a month, something inconsequential. And then when friends come and you're cruising right past the line and they're like, "Oh, welcome, it's one of our VIP members." You're getting all of the, the stroking of the ego and all of that stuff. You could put 3, 4, 5, 6 things in that VIP grant, and every time you drop a check at a table, you train the servers and you say, "Hey folks, I just wanted to let you know about our new VIP program. If you come a lot, we'd like to reward you. You get this, and it's only $19.95 a month. And if you'd like me to add it to your bill today, we can do that. Would you like to add it to your bill?" Now, here's the thing that most people they freak out about, right? Oh, people don't want it.
All kinds of stories before it's even tested.
All the stories. Right? People don't want that. People don't want that. People don't want that.
That wouldn't work. They'd be offended. They don't want it. All
right.
the excuses, alibis, and excuses.
Guess what? When you're selling continuity models, the majority of people don't want it. I will ruin the end of the movie for you. You're right. They don't. But there's a percentage that do. And that percentage compounds month after month after month after month after month, and eventually get to a place where you go, I don't need to do anything. Or even better, all my overhead is covered by my continuity in the business. So every new sale we make this month is free money because my overhead is covered. Or I want to sell this business to someone else, and I've got restaurant A that's a normal restaurant, and I've got restaurant B with a continuity program. Restaurant B brings in an additional $30,000 a year passively from their continuity program. What do you think the value is going to be differently between them? It's going to be a wildly different valuation.
Wildly different. So, Aaron, I saw a restaurant once.
Okay.
They were an Italian pizza style cafe, nothing fancy, sandwiches, pizza. And they had a membership running in conjunction with the day-to-day restaurant business. So transaction-based day-to-day, good. Mm-hmm. Don't change it. It works. It's a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And then they also had I think it was a pizza of the month club, that something along those lines, a couple different tiers of membership. I've seen another one with a wine of the month membership in which you get a free bottle once per month, 20% off anything else you buy. Like there's almost no way. There's almost no shortage of ways to do it. It's just a matter of doing it and figuring out what would be enticing and testing it.
I literally own the only businesses that I own now, if you want to consider them businesses that are not continuity driven models, is my real estate. It's.
But you could argue that they are with rent.
Yeah, you could make a strong argument.
Really
I mean, all of mine are.
How's that not continuity?
Well, I don't rent long term. So if I was renting long term, then I would say yes, 100%.
Yeah, but even Airbnb short term stuff is still continuity.
My short term is booked out for a year. So I know that every single week, multiple thousands of dollars are going to drop into my bank account. Period. End of story. So to a degree,
continuity.
It's continuity model.
You're just in your head. You have this stigma that because they're not on a long term contract, it's not real continuity. But that is short term continuity.
And that's why
they're little pockets of continuity.
And that's why the majority of the wealthiest people in America got wealthy in part to large real estate holdings.
Mostly all, yeah.
Because when you buy a condo, a house, a multi-unit, a whatever, and you're renting it to people, that ongoing monthly income that comes in either brings you up a little bit short of your expenses, or breaks you even on your expenses, or makes you some money and cash flows for you, ideally, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And so that recurring revenue is covering the expense of that business. And meanwhile, the appreciation, the value of the property is going up at 6% a year. And so you essentially got somebody else paying for your asset. That's the brilliance of real estate. That's why everybody wants to get into real estate, because again, it's the ultimate continuity model. I was just saying that maybe mine's not, because they're not rented long-term. They're rented short-term.
Short-term continuity.
I'm booked out forever. So yeah, I know every month, every week, $5,000's coming in every single week from continuity, and it makes me money, and it pays the expenses of the house, and the properties are going up at 6% a year.
Yep.
So I'm saving that money without doing anything. Mm-hmm. I think it's really important today, because some people, they might have heard this before and thought I should do something. Maybe this will spawn some ideas. You'll have other people show up who are like, that could never work in my business, and they've heard some ideas now, and they're like, maybe I should do that Google search and see who's doing it in my industry. Right? Maybe some people have done it before and they forgot about it. And they're like, man, what am I thinking? We get busy. We forget about stuff. I got to put this into my business.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a couple ways to do it. I mean, we talked about a couple examples of other companies doing it. It depends on the business you're in. There might be a play for you to be offering some sort of coaching consulting model that's a monthly recurring, which people love. Hey, I'm going to buy this thing, but I really need help using it, and I need that every single month, to our concierge point earlier. But then there's also technology, which is big today, and SaaS, software as a service. If you can have some sort of technology component in your business, whether it be some sort of a dashboard perhaps. I mean, we have a sales and marketing software, CRM. It could be an email marketing tool. It could be a sales funnel tool. Those are really stable, because when people get on tech that they like, it looks like a utility. You're on it, you love it, you don't need another one, and you just keep paying for it, because you don't want to disconnect your tech. Just like you don't want to disconnect your electric, your water, or your cable. Right? Those are the last things to go. So tech-based, SaaS-based continuity, especially today with all this technology, is probably the best one, because it's so sticky, it's so stable. Right? Coaching, it's great. Consulting,
they all have their benefits and their drawbacks, but the reality is
people can pop off easy. But if you get someone using tech, it's very sticky.
I agree. If your tech is great, it's very sticky. I want to leave everybody with one more example, because I think it's always good to share stories. I had a client a couple of years ago that had a moving business. So, the trucks,
see
the boxes, all that stuff. I said, where's your continuity model in this? They said, wait, people don't move.
Moving every month? What's going on?
People don't move enough to have a continuity model.
This one I have to hear.
Of course. I said, of course they don't. Think outside the box. Take 5 minutes and think outside the box. Tell me the resources and the assets that you have. So we went through all the resources and the assets that they had. And in one area of their building, they had about 14 parking spots. And I said to them, okay, do you get a rush of people all the time coming in here to ask about moving? I wouldn't think so. How often are those 14 spots booked? And they said, well, no, I mean, it's usually 1 or 2 people. And I said, okay. So you've got dead air sitting there. I said, now every person that comes in the door, I want you to offer them your RV or boat storage program. And I want you to put a couple of tents over those 14 spots and just offer it and see what happens. Within 2 weeks, every single spot was full. $70 a month, 14 spots, $1,000 in their pocket, done and done, easiest business to run on the planet. You know what they did the next year? They bought the entire next lot, next door.
Yeah.
Because they said, we don't have to do anything. And this money's coming in every single month. I said, of course. And they filled that whole next lot with RVs and boats, storage, easy to do. And they said, you know what? We don't even want to be in the moving business anymore. We'd way rather be in the
parking and storage business. Yeah.
Because it's every single month.
And the really smart parking and storage businesses have moving plays. And
Yes.
the really smart moving companies have storage and parking place. Those are
Right. And that's the flip side. Like you're saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater is like
not one or the other, both.
Both, right? How many
Portfolio
storage
approach.
facilities don't offer moving services? Were you crazy? Of course people need moving services. They're storing
There
stuff.
couldn't be a better prospect for moving services.
Of
They're
course.
actually moving stuff into storage for that reason.
Exactly.
Right? So that's another great one. But yeah, I would tell everybody, just really think about, what can I bolt on? It's a bolt-on service, right? Maybe it's something new. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's an extension of what you already sell, right? So my guess is we have a lot of consultants and sales professionals and insurance and financial people, and you're getting a fee every single month. But there are some people, and this is a huge business today, is the financial education and the financial services trading model, Aaron, is enormous today. And this is like a couple $100 million, it's probably $1 billion plus industry, is the amount of information that gets sold today in the financial services space on trading crypto, trading stocks, trading Forex, right? Picks, trading in picks. I mean, I see newsletters from $59 a year to $1,000 a year, and they're all about education on the state of the market, economics, what's going on, and then picks, expert picks from Wall Street guys, Forex guys, crypto guys, commodities guys. So think about that. If can you sell advice, right? Selling advice, selling picks on an ongoing basis is a power play. Information is valuable today, and a lot of people can get free information online. But if you can package your information in the form of a newsletter with some value, in the form of something monthly with maybe a webinar or some coaching, and you meet up with your VIP clients once per month on a Zoom or on a webinar, that's the camaraderie that people will pay for. That's the access to like an inner circle or a VIP group. That's networking that people will pay for today. There's almost no business that can't add that piece.
Of course.
Right? That networking piece, that advice piece, insider advice type stuff. You see this a lot in the fitness industry too, right? You can go buy a supplement online, but some really good supplement companies I've seen as of late, they have an inner circle. And there's some coaching on nutrition and coaching on fitness. You bought a supplement. What a great prospect. They obviously care about their health. Do you also want to be in our VIP membership for $47 a month, where we do one webinar per month? We share a workout strategy per month. We share a nutrition tip per month. We have our product of the month, our recommendation of the month. And because you're a member, you get 20% off all of it, right? So that's a real smart way to think about how to go beyond the transaction in fitness and finance.
Agreed.
A lot of ways to do it. Now, what I would do is if you're like, God, geez, I know I need to do this, I don't know where to begin, I would start looking at who are the biggest players in your space. I'd be shocked if you found one that was a huge player that didn't have some sort of coaching, consulting, subscription model. I'd be shocked. So you want to probably start there. The other thing I would do is go outside of your industry. What is the insurance industry doing? What is the financial services industry doing? What is the fitness and health industry doing that I could apply to my restaurant business, so to speak? It's always smart to grab ideas from industries that aren't yours and take what another industry is doing and implement it into your industry, because very few think to do that. They always stay within the box of their own industry. I learned early on that you get the best ideas from going outside your industry, taking ideas and then adapting them to your industry. That can be very powerful, right? So a lawyer pulls an idea from a health clinic. How could that be? Or vice versa. And it's boom, no one else is doing this. I'm a pioneer. I'm doing this first.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. That lawyer example isn't LegalZoom like a
great example. LegalZoom's
like a monthly subscription,
monster monthly subscription, Aaron, of $19.99 a month all the way up to $79.99 a month, and it's just access to legal advice. And guess what happens when you need when you start with legal advice? Ultimately, you need a legal person, and they have a whole network of attorneys. And guess what happens if you're a LegalZoom member? Because I was one at one point, I think, for an LLC or some sort of tech setup, corporation setup. They refer you to a lawyer who's in their network at a 20% discount because you're a LegalZoom member. You get a discount on the hourly rate was $400 an hour. Now it's $300 an hour because you're a LegalZoom member. It's on and on and on.
Yeah, and it was cheap, and I used it for like a bunch of different things from a legal perspective. Now, would you rather have a law office, bodies, furniture, leases,
people,
insurance, HR, recruitment, training, all these things? Or would you rather have LegalZoom with 200,000 subscribers at $20 a month?
Exactly.
I'll take LegalZoom.
Yeah. Now, it's going to take a while to build that.
Yeah.
Right. Ideally, you want to implement a LegalZoom type play within an existing business model. Unless you have capital behind you, maybe you've sold your business, maybe you have money from put away from whatever, then you have the backdrop to go build this from scratch. But ideally, what we want to get across here is that you add this to an existing money-making, profitable business to make the business more profitable. We're not saying don't do it from scratch. You certainly could, but the best place to start is from within and to add an element of what already exists, because that will be a much faster path to development than fresh from scratch, brand new, never proven in the marketplace. Right? I have to have that conversation a lot weekly too, Aaron. When people get really excited about new ideas, don't do the new idea. Take the new idea and apply it to an existing proven concept.
Right.
And create another stream of income. And then maybe one day when you're out of this model, you can go do the brand new idea. People want to like just throw the baby out with the bathwater and just go do new ideas, no proof of concept. And then oftentimes they land in a spot where they're like, well, shit, it's been 9 months and that didn't work. Now I'm in real trouble, right?
Yep.
That's what you want to be careful of.
Yep. I literally listened to a guy yesterday on a call. He said he had everything figured out. He'd already exited a company. He was like, this is what I'm going to do. No proof of concept, anything.
All in and canceled everything else, right?
Yep.
This is kind of how the federal government in the United States works today. Every time they have an idea, they destroy the industry that has been working for 100 years. Let's take energy as an example. They go all in on something with no proof of concept, and then they just hope. They're doing it with the electric vehicle thing right now. They're like forcing people to buy electric vehicles, but yet they have no idea they're going to completely wipe out the electric grid, and then they're going to destroy the gas industry. Like, no proof of concept. It's crazy, man. Don't do that. Seriously, don't do that. There's absolutely no logic and no intelligence at all. You're like a 12-year-old kid with a great idea on Shark Tank. Don't do that. Be smart. Be intelligent. Proof of concept. Prove it. Don't destroy something to build something. Build something and don't destroy something at the same time. It's not one or the other. It's both.
Agreed.
Right? It's crazy. And so that's an entrepreneurial mindset. I see it on Shark Tank all the time. I pop into Shark Tank once in a while. Great show on CNBC. And it's like, I need $100,000. I'm willing to give up 15% of my company on this sock that will keep your feet an extra 2 degrees warmer. And I've never sold it before, and I want you to give me money. It's like, what are you even saying? No proof of concept, no sales. You need money. You want money. It's like, what are you, the federal government? You have no intelligence whatsoever to pitch me on this. It's crazy. So, but that's a default human reaction. We get excited. We jump at, this shouldn't be happening at the government level. I mean, they're like little kids. Like, they get excited about something. Let's go destroy 3 industries and just throw this against the wall and see if it sticks. What are you doing? Don't do that is the takeaway message here. Do it from within. Make it an extension of what already is, so that there's some stability there and you're not a throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of a person there.
Agreed.
Alrighty, man. Going to wrap it there. The revenue multiplier is continuity. Subscription, how can you do it? You need to do it. It shouldn't even be an option. If you find yourself saying, I don't think I can, I don't have time, wrong answer. Flip it. It's a must. Do it. We'll continue to come back to it. I have a couple other examples that we'll probably use on a different show here, but continuity's king. We'll see you on the next episode. I'm Andrew. That's Aaron. See you soon.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Sales Velocity TV is powered by Pipeline Pro, the ultimate all-in-one sales pipeline management and marketing automation platform that makes all others obsolete. And we can prove it. Take a tour at gopipelinepro.com. See you on the next episode.